Let's go into the effectiveness of ads. So this is a bit of a change that we've seen over the past 6 months to a year. And our top two strategies are always SEO and ads. Advertising, a lot of benefits. It can get you leads very quickly. You can get up and running super fast and start to get that ROI very quickly. Now, one thing happened about 2 years ago, I would say 2 or 3, where Google started introducing something called local service ads. And local service ads were, basically these simplified versions of their pay-per-click platform. And so there's a bunch of benefits. We have other content about LSAs that I'm not really going to get into right now. And you can find them on our YouTube channel and through the website. But what happened as these LSAs were made available is that people, the vast majority of people didn't use them. And so when you have a situation like that in an advertising platform, the costs are super low. And so you had this kind of golden period where people were getting insane low cost leads for personal injury, in these other areas that were typically pretty expensive in the PPC route. And it was a really good value because you could dispute your leads. You could really just set it and forget it. And what we're now finding is that I think it's kind of hit its capacity in terms of market saturation. And now really everybody's in on it. And so, all of your competitors, they're into it. And so as a byproduct of that, the market is much, much, much more expensive for this. And so we're actually seeing a swing in the way we're working with this and developing it into our strategy. Is we're kind of swinging back into the other way in terms of utilizing Google's regular pay-per-click option, because we think it may be a better option in a number of scenarios, kind of depending on the practice area. So there's 3 real reasons why we would want to, focus on both. Our strategy is typically to try all things, try each platform and see where you're getting the most value in terms of the lowest cost per lead, the best quality leads, and who you're actually converting to cases. So number one, there's a higher barrier of entry to pay-per-click. Anyone and their mom can do LSAs. It literally takes a couple of clicks, and there's no performance benefit by hiring someone, really. Just to be completely honest, we will run these for you, but there's not any sort of special levers that we're pulling or ability to really create meaningful change in those campaigns. It's all run by Google, and so anyone can do it, and anyone has done it. Number 2, you can get a lot more specificity in your targeting by going through a pay-per-click campaign. You can do a lot more negative targeting. You can go by region. You can really slice and dice how you want to approach it and put things in different campaigns and be super specific. With LSAs, you can do some of that targeting as far as, I want to be in this certain category, I want to be in this certain region. But what we have found is that you might do something or put yourself in a criminal defense category, and then it's really a black box. You have no idea what search terms Google is using to trigger your ads. And what that leads to is a lot of unqualified leads. Google has no incentive to give you just the cream of the crop, right? Just the people who are not the tire kickers and who are, actually interested in your services. The leads that you get, you can dispute them. However, this is changing and starting to change, and I don't want to cover it now, but it looks like Google LSA is basically not going to allow those disputes anymore, or it's going to be a modified version. And so you're going to have less of that control, and basically, whatever Google gives you, you're going to have to take it, right? So we think, depending on the practice area, you may want to use both, or you may want to use just LSA or just pay-per-click. It really depends on your market and your practice area. The final part, and I've already gone over this already, you have a lot more control over the success of your campaign with a PPC campaign. You can get in there and you can change all of these options. You can use landing pages. You can have an impact on all of these factors. And in my experience, this gives you the best hedge against everybody else doing the exact same thing that you are. So you can give yourself competitive advantage by actually doing these better than the other people out there. So in conclusion, on the ads side of this, we still think ads is a proven valuable strategy, but we would highly recommend that you test both of these avenues, both LSA and pay per click. You will see which one is going to give you the most value, and that's then what you want to actually invest the most in, right? And so I always preach invest proportionally in where you're getting the ROI from. And so if you are getting more ROI from one of those, double down, put the extra money on it, bring over the majority of the ad spend on one side to the other. And you'll know that costs are going to rise over time, really for all of them, right? For whether it's LSA or PPC.